Oh, we are live in the Krypt 2 nights in a row. We're gonna get, like I said, we're getting these shows rolling. We even got another show tomorrow. We got a cool show tonight. Tomorrow we got Michael Bailey Smith. We're doing something a little different, and I did a little short live stream earlier. Michael Bailey and his amazing wife Paige are coming on tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the inseam saver. I'm going to open it with them tomorrow, and we're going to go through all the cool stuff. And let's support our good friend, Super Freddy himself. Hills Have Eyes, the bloodiest beatdown, Charmed, beat up Van Damme a few times in his movies, and he's just awesome action star, but even a better person. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, same time, and give some support to Michael Bailey and his wife Paige in their new venture in their business. But we got a great show tonight. I haven't caught up with this guy in a minute. I had an awesome time at Carolina Fear Fest. He gave us a nice big area. We set it up. Tom Matthews was there. Of course, the B, DK and the B was there. Miss my B. We were just talking about you before the stream started, and we love you to death. We think the world of you. And we were talking about, we had Nancy Ann Ritter on, and I'm sure me and Matt will touch on that tonight. So without further ado, let me get the round of applause ready for this man, because he is an awesome guy, and he's killing it out there, not only with the conventions, but with the indie film community. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Matty Tatty. Now, he changed his name. It's a legal name.
Yeah, that was a lot. But thank you all very much. Thank you so much, John, for having me back. I've missed you, man. These are always a lot of fun.
It was so much fun at Carolina, dude. I had the time of my life. Patricia and Dave Van Duzen. We spent a lot of time together. Awesome people, and I know they had a blast. The hotel was great. My parents were there.
That was cool to meet them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my mom's like, she needs her own table. She is a celebrity in her own right. I swear, people don't know me; they know her. She's always scooting away. James.
Yeah, I keep telling my dad, he should do cons because he's the one who made me who I am today. So I mean, my dad should do cons as well, but he doesn't. He's not really a big people person, unfortunately.
Well, it shocks me. My dad enjoys it so much. I've been having so much fun with my parents being on this journey. And last year was an amazing year where I got to take my individuals I told you about to all these conventions. My parents were there, and I had so many great experiences in 2024. I can't wait for 2025. We got a lot in the works here in the Krypt, but
absolutely,
you've been absolutely crushing, dude. Where do you find time, dude?
That's the weird thing. It's like, and actually the funny thing is that I've actually kind of been taking it easy the last couple months, but I mean, I guess taking it easy for me is like full tilt for anybody else, it seems like. But yeah, no, we've had some great screenings for Blood and Breakfast. We premiered that movie back in October. Of course, B and Nancy Ann are in that. We were on here promoting that and whatnot. So that was a lot of fun. Hey, Nicole, I saw Nicole Vegas is there.
Yes, one of my favorite people.
Yeah, she's my favorite people. Cool. Yeah, great to see her on here. Hi, Nicole. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. And Blood and Breakfast has done really well, and the only ones that's done really well too. A movie I did with Jordan Miller and Future Fanoscope Productions. We actually we're going to be at Panic Fest, which is actually sponsored by Fangoria, coming up here soon. Screening the movie there, which is a total honor, dream come true for that or whatever. And I mean, we got a lot of screenings coming up and a lot of good things happening. So, and of course, Carolina Fear Fest, always Memorial Day weekend every year in Raleigh, North Carolina.
With what you do, and even with me, what I do, like traveling around with conventions, we talked about that adrenaline really keeps you going. I mean, we were talking about needing a little time off in the winter and clearing our head. Maybe got 5 hours of sleep instead of 2 hours.
I was gonna say it's like I mean, we always say, oh, at least we're not on drugs. This is a drug. It feels like it sometimes.
I'll tell you, there's nothing like it. The adrenaline,
euphoria, man.
From it, yeah, it's it beats anything I can even think of, to tell you the truth. And it really does keep you going. And we're lucky enough, and I'm lucky enough to be able to do what I do. And I know what you do, you're really passionate and talented at, and the people you've got to meet and the experiences and, the work you're doing has got to be such a thrill, man. A dream come true.
Oh yeah, I mean I mean it comes I mean obviously it's not all sunshine and roses or whatever, but I mean but it's and I mean the good part is that man, when you work with cool people, I mean that's the whole thing. I mean these people, when you're a producer or a promoter or whatever, you book the talent and they're a reflection of you, so you always want to make sure you get the best people possible for every project. And I've been very blessed to have a lot of great people, not only in the national, the national convention circuit, but locally here too. I mean, just worked with a lot of great people and a lot of awesome, just unbelievable, talent. And and that's what makes these movies so good is the talent that a lot of the individual film companies have and the horror conventions have. And it's just a wonderful thing, man. Just a wonderful thing.
We were talking about, like you said, Nancy Ann Ritter, and of course the B, DK and the B, Beatrice Buckley, Mama Kruger. I mean, those are fantastic people, and just being around them and working with them has got to be such a thrill. And I'm excited for Blood and Breakfast. The fact that it's your movie and those two are in it, which I think incredibly highly of. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I helped produce it. Mark Byrne, the director, he's the one who comes up with a lot of the ideas. Funny story, he was just on a podcast tonight too, NC-17. So yeah, buddy, mine Josh does out of Michigan. But yeah, no, it's I think it's a fun movie. It's really an interesting take on horror. It's kind of because we kind of did it up more like a murder mystery, like Clue type deal or whatever. Where you don't really know who the killer is till the end, kind of thing. And I mean, I guess Scream kind of touched on that as well.
Twists and turns, you never know. And
that's the thing. Yeah, because, we want to make you think. You know what I mean? I get a little tired of the movies that are just gore and just that have no storyline. I mean, it's just I like a story. I've always liked the story. I just watched that movie Heretic. Fantastic movie, by the way, with Hugh Grant in it, and that's the kind of horror I like. I like stuff that makes you think. I don't really, now who doesn't like sitting down to a nice gore fest sometimes or whatever. But I mean, if I'm going to pick my favorites, it probably would be mostly the more intellectual brand of horror. But I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with any of it. Obviously, I mean, it all has its place in the genre, and I mean, it's great to see so many people into the genre. It seems like the horror genre is bigger than ever these days. I mean, it seems like so many people are into it. Maybe it's just because the internet and social media, but it seems like so many people are into horror now, and it's really cool to see it kind of being very, I mean, it's doing really well in the movie theaters, where at a time where movie theaters aren't doing so well. So I mean, yeah, it's just really fun to see that these people are coming back out for horror again.
I think horror movies are outdoing the Marvel movies lately.
I mean, it's I mean, I don't know about it, but I mean, when you compare
the comparative budget value and money making wise,
but when you compare the budgets and whatnot, they probably are doing better actually, because because these are done on so much smaller budget, and these Marvel movies are done for so. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with Marvel movies either. No. If that's your thing, that's your thing. Obviously, I mean, I enjoyed Deadpool, I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy, I enjoyed some of those flicks as well, some of the Spider-Man movies, Venom. But I mean, but it's great to see horror, kind of taking its place, because for a long time, you probably remember this, John, it seemed like for about 8, 10, 12 years, you didn't see much horror in theaters. Well, maybe they might release a Halloween movie or new Scream movie or whatever, but that was about it. You didn't really see a whole lot of, now you see Terrifier doing so well, and these new movies like Hard Eyes and whatnot that are doing pretty well, and The Monkey, which looks insane. I haven't seen that yet, but it looks insane. But yeah, it's great to see that, that we're kind of going back into like a gold period, almost like the 80s for horror, where a lot of people are doing it and a lot of people are excited about it.
I was going to say the same thing. It's kind of like, 80s was the pivotal moment, I think.
The peak. Let's be real, the peak of horror. I think
it hit, mid 80s, and then it became almost too comedic and
a little cartoony almost. There's a lot of you had Krypt Keeper doing a cartoon. You had Toxic Avenger doing a cartoon. I mean, it got very cartoony and very deep.
And then Scream kind of brought it back to life in the 90s a little bit, and then they just became copycats of Scream. Let's be honest.
Then there was a lot of copycats, and then
I don't think the 2000s had much. I mean, unless it
was all remakes. They were all remakes. Yeah. It was all Friday the 13th, My Bloody Valentine, Prom Night. It was all remakes. That's why I said during that time they really didn't see a lot of. I mean, those were the horror movies you really see in theaters, and they weren't performing that well because I think even back then people just weren't getting very excited about remakes. I mean, some of them have been very good. I mean, I love the Wizard of Gore remake, one of my favorites, and it was good. It was really, but at the same, but I think of people. I think even now people want original ideas. They don't want remakes all the time.
Well, I think a lot of, and Nicole touched on it in that statement. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Well, she asked one question. It's Carolina Fear Fest. Awesome show. I'm not sure when do you say the next Carolina Fear Fest is?
Memorial. We do it once a year. It's a Memorial Day weekend. You love Carolina Fear Fest, hashtag Carolina Fear Fest on Instagram. I think we're on Twitter, CarolinaFearFest.com, Facebook. We're on basically all the platforms. Our social media person, Destiny, does a really good job of putting it out there.
And I'll put this out there. I've never enjoyed loading and unloading as much as I did in that building. Driving right up to my
drive right to your spot.
Drive right my God. And I had a great time at Evansville. And I couldn't. Fantastic weekend in Evansville.
Oh yeah, I've met Matt. He seems like Matt was a nice guy.
And what a great convention! It was such an awesome time. But the load in and out was definitely very different. You had to do the elevator, and it was
brutal.
Yeah. That was the only thing that was kind of rough at that, but the rest of it was.
Yeah, awesome. I've heard really good things about that show. Now I've talked to Matt Grisham a few times. He's a very nice guy. Amazing guy. I'm really glad that guy's doing so well. So shout out to Matt, really good guy.
Yeah, he'll be back on the show. I couldn't, Bass Amp came and hung out with me from Ari Lehman's band. He's the drummer. He's a talented musician. Cool.
I've done Bass Amp since before I've started doing this. I don't know. I booked his old band, the Sex Robots, back in like 2006 at like this youth center. Getting in the business.
My mom and dad absolutely love him. He's been adopted. And I hung out with my friend Heather Gonzalez, who's actually going to be co-hosting with me again tomorrow night. And
very cool.
I mean, she's got stuff that I don't bring, like the nice lady sprays and the bath bombs and all that stuff. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I'm lucky if I put deodorant on in the morning.
I figure she's the one who, can help me assist with hangers and the clothes thing with Michael Bailey and his wife Paige. Because they got style. I got this.
Yeah, I mean, I got t-shirt and horror t-shirt. Doesn't matter.
But I was going to say, what I think the problem with horror where it died down is they tried to make it mainstream, and horror's never been mainstream. It's always been
they tried to soften it up. I mean, I think they saw Scream go mainstream, so they were like, okay, this is what people want. Let's just hammer down it. Like when a band gets big, I've noticed like back in the early 90s when Nirvana hit, everybody had to sound like Nirvana and Pearl Jam back then. I mean, it's like they take the thing and they just beat it into the ground the whole time. I mean, it's you don't want to hear it anymore,
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything in May. I actually really don't. If I can fly in, I'm going to come in and try to hang out there in Carolina with you guys.
All right, cool. Let us know.
And hang, and then I don't have to break my back or nothing. I'll just walk
right.
around.
You just hang, and you can do whatever you want whenever you want. That's I mean,
I don't know if my parents might have gone with me. They still treat me like I'm 10.
I hear you. Mine still do too. Mine are still always like, do you have plenty of clothes? Do you have plenty to eat?
I'm just kidding. I have so much fun with them. They had so much fun at Carolina, and Patricia said she's going to be there again this year. Patricia and Dave. I don't know how well you know them, but they were there and they had a great time. And they're two of my favorite people out there.
Awesome.
And they're awesome, amazing people. So that almost makes me want to fly in to see you guys and all the cool people that I met.
Well, just keep in touch, man. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, it's like we were talking independent movies. I think with the surge of being able to make them on a smaller budget and there's a lot of creativity. There's no holdbacks on horror.
Right. Yeah. You can do whatever you want. It's like, you can push the boundaries. You can do whatever you want, whatever idea you have, because you don't have anybody telling you what to do. You don't have a studio, breathing down your neck, telling you gotta do this, we'll never release it if it has that scene in it or this scene or whatever. Oh, you better cut that out or we're not going to put it in theaters, whatever. You have you make whatever you want, whatever your little heart desires,
And I think that's what killed a lot of great horrors as they go on and sequel after sequel after sequel after sequel.
Right.
They had to make it family friendly because, like you said, with Toxic Avenger, we got to do a cartoon. You can't do that without a cartoon.
Krypt Keeper's got a cartoon now, or whatever. He's got a cartoon. I'm kind of surprised they didn't try to do Creep Show as a cartoon. I'm sure they tried.
They did. I could have swore they have a Creep Show cartoon too.
Maybe they do. Was that?
a movie animated. I think they had something animated. I
They-
mean,
they
I know
might
they
have,
used
like, I think
animation before
they
the
had some
film.
kind of special, I think, or whatever. It was like a
Yeah,
special, I think, or something that was
yeah.
animated. But it was only like a half hour long. It wasn't like a full length movie or anything, I don't think.
And
But I
it
mean,
was,
it's amazing that they try to make that that anime. I'm sure they tried. I'm sure that somebody had that idea.
oh my, I love the Toxic Avenger cartoon. Can I rent the movie? Sure. I mean, I don't know. It just they had to finance and build and ruined a couple of things. I think that needed the time off. I don't know what the new Toxic Avenger that was on hold, but then I hear it's
But
coming
now
out.
they're releasing that this year. Apparently, I think there wasn't like,
Yeah, that's what I heard. I mean, I don't know how much interest I have in it though. We'll see.
I mean,
I'll
I
watch
might check it out. I mean, I liked all the other ones. Remember, we had a Ron Fazio on here the one time. Toxic. He was in Toxie 2 and 3. He lives in Raleigh. Actually, he's a local guy to Raleigh. Actually.
Yeah, I've spoken with him.
We had him on. I remember it was one of the Fear Fest episodes. I think it was me, him. I think Wagner was on. I think Schwag was on here, and there might have been one or two other people on here. But yeah, because there was one of the big cast. And we wound up talking sports. I remember that. We wound up. It was probably the only episode you've ever done where people were talking about sports.
Yeah, true. It turned from horror to sports.
Yeah, because he played football. I had Ron. He played pro ball.
Big dude.
Yeah, he big dude. Yeah, well, that's why he was Toxie. I guess that's why they picked up the Toxie. But yeah, I'll always remember that episode because that was the one horror podcast where we talked about sports. It was random. Yeah, it was so random.
Funny. I was at one show and Dave Sheridan, because I've seen him at a lot of shows. I don't like to bother a guest if they're outside smoking.
Right,
my dad just talking. You see him kind of scoot over, and he's like, "You like football?" It was just out of the blue, but that stayed for you. It was pretty funny. It was cool. And
yeah.
Football for a few minutes.
That's funny. Well, everybody has something. I remember me and Tom Arnold talked about baseball last year. So we were
a great guest too, man.
I was
Tom he's like
such a nice
Arnold. I had that Arnold that's signed by Robert Patrick and Brian Thompson. He's like, you should get Arnold to sign us. I'm here like, dude, I'm friends with Arnold. I don't see him doing conventions. Well, I'm trying to get him into them now.
I know he and Schwarzenegger. I know they're tight. I mean, they're still friends. Yeah. They're still good friends.
Well, like for him, it's like, why don't you just get Arnold to sign? I don't know. I lost his number.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was in my old phone. I had to get a new phone. It didn't transfer. That kind of thing.
I know you see my fancy shirt and think I know everybody.
Yeah. I think I know. A-listers like Arnold or whatever.
I don't know Arnold, but I do a hell of an impression.
There you go.
But everybody does. It's Carolina and Memorial Day weekend, guys. You are going to enjoy it. So, Nicole, if you can make it out there, I think you'll really enjoy that show as well. And like we talked about, the load in, load out was my favorite part of the. That was just so nice.
I like one of the very few shows that you can drive right to your spot and start setting up.
And I don't have a small vehicle either. I got
no. I remember it was a pretty big, bulky truck. If I remember.
A boat. Yeah, man. But it was such a good time. And like you said, Tom Matthews was there. It was really cool.
Yeah. We had a lot of cool guests. We had a lot. I mean, I said, we had a lot of cool guests last year. We had Tom Arnold. We had, Heather Langenkamp's always nice. Really nice. Really nice person. And David Arquette couldn't have been any nicer. He was such a great guy to everybody. And that guy put in some long days. We had, was it Costas Mandalore? He was pretty cool. We had him. Yeah. Kelly Maroney was a total sweetheart. Love her. Loved that back. She was really great.
Yeah, I introduced Beatrice to her because I had spoken to Kelly, and we were trying to get her on the show right before Carolina, and we just couldn't make it happen. And she's definitely a guest I'd love to get on because she's so sweet, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah, really a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun. Yeah,
she just couldn't have been any nicer. Yeah, she was awesome. I mean, all the guests were really good guests, really nice people.
For sure.
I mean, even Tom Arnold, I had a great time. It was cool to meet him because I'm a huge fan. I would talk to him about the best damn talk sports show ever.
Yeah, sports show,
little sports there too. So
yeah.
Cool. I loved that show. That was like before.
That was like the original like hot take show or whatever. That was like the original, like one of the original like now ESPN has all those kind of shows. Where it's the what is the first take and all those shows or whatever. Basically now that's all ESPN is really in the mornings.
Yeah, talk. It's water. I mean, that show was so good. I told him I missed it. I wish they'd bring it back because he is an entertaining guy just to watch on a weekly
Yeah,
show.
he was a lot of fun on that show. I remember. Yeah,
I know Nicole. He's in. I'm not sure which film it is. Is it the Tom Arnold's in one of their films? I know one of their upcoming ones. He's working on a few of them, and I'm trying to remember what Desert Fiends, is he in that one, or is he in Skate to Hell? He's in one of the two, but it's cool that we're working with him, and he's out there. And a lot of these guys are working with the indie community,
right? Yeah, I was just say, yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I wish I was West. That's one thing that makes me wish I was on the West Coast, man, because it's just so because they have such a great talent pool out there. I mean, because you try to get them out it's hard to get people to harder to get them out to the East Coast. I've noticed because it's I mean they got to go on the plane and it's a long flight and it's it's a lot going on or whatever. But yeah, yeah, they got so much great talent out there. I mean, because I mean, I've I mean, like Tom Arnold, guys like Vernon Wells, and they do a lot of those movies. Such a great talent pool out there.
Yeah, it's great as a fan, to see these guys in these films and working with them. Whether it's Lisa Wilcox is out there doing the same thing.
I see her pop up in a lot of stuff now. Yeah, I like to meet her. I haven't met her yet.
Yeah, Lisa's very, very sweet. Her, who's really cool that I like a lot, and I met, and he's just like one of the dudes, Danny Hassel. That dude's awesome.
Oh yeah, we had him one year at Fear Fest. He was a trip.
We got his deck back there. I let it sit on his table.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, no, he was a great guy. He hung out with us every night at the pool. I mean, that was back when we had the old Ramada hotel with the pool, and he was out there every night with us. Drinking and hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah, he's definitely a fun guy to hang out with. Super down to earth, super cool. He's one of the dudes, and he treats you like one of the dudes. And I love those kind of guests and those kind of people.
We had him, and we had was it Chris Mulkey was that year. He was a really super nice guy. Brought his guitar and was playing it while we were on the count. It was pretty really a cool guy too. Really enjoyed him.
So, what do you guys got planned for Carolina this year? You got
we got a pretty good guest list going forward. We got Bill Mosley, but of course we're gonna make him stay in his room this year.
Yeah, don't let him out. I spoke to him.
We're keeping him under lock and key until the convention, basically. Yeah, he is not allowed to leave. To go anywhere.
I spoke with him about that. Also, because I seen him a few times, and it was a scary time. And I'm like, because he does it, you would never guess he's what 70s.
Yeah, he's getting close to 70, if not. He and Kane both. It's hard to believe that. I mean, it's crazy to think these guys are that old. I mean, but they're still in great shape.
That dude's in great shape, and we talked about good thing you were in the good shape you're in because it could have been a lot.
Yeah, it could have really messed. I mean, it could have messed him up a lot worse. Absolutely.
I mean, it was scary because I remember we're looking for him, and I've met Bill. I don't know Bill, but I'd met him at previous cons and always been a nice guy. And I just didn't see him just skipping out on a con or having a late night bender or something. And when you had given me the information that what happened, I was like, man, it was a scary moment. It definitely was felt by the event.
That's which is great because I mean, but in a way, what's the last time you saw a horror con on TMZ?
Yeah.
Doesn't happen well.
You got a little marketing, and he's doing great. He looks great.
I guess when you get a horror con on TMZ,
you made the big time. Well, that's what you do in Carolina. Unfortunately, that was the topic, but
but I mean, people found out. I guess people found out about it, which is interesting. But I mean,
the team.
Yeah, well, but I mean, we obviously. I mean, that's the last thing we had to do was put any of our. I mean, it was a fluke.
It was crazy. You told me the story, and be like, get the out of here, I mean,
I couldn't believe it. I thought he was pranking because I remember when I first met him years ago. I remember he looked at some girl I was with, and he was like, and she's like, hey, can I get a picture with you? And he looks at her in that Otis voice, $50 fucking, and she,
he loves to do the Otis voice still. I mean,
she got scared. Like, I'm just kidding. Come here. I'm just kidding.
My plate.
So I thought he was pranking us. I was like, he's just kidding, or he's gonna come walking through the door. Gotcha, motherfucker.
Bill Mosley gets run over by a bicyclist.
On a bicycle a tow path somewhere.
It's just insane. I was like, I thought you were joking at first too. I was
Yeah,
like,
I thought he was joking. I was just like, oh, he's gonna show up, gotcha, motherfucker, that kind of thing, or because he's
I'm
just
so
that
glad he's doing well, and it's probably even better that he can make it this year. It's
right.
a
Yeah,
you got
I think it's gonna be a good lineup, man. Because because you got Malcolm McDowell this year, who really I haven't seen him on a lot of cons lately. I mean, which so
I met him and I got him on my Myers bust, obviously as
right,
numerous
right.
Rob Zombie, because I started adding that, and he is a really, really nice guy. I got a
Yeah.
chance to talk to him for a couple minutes. He really loved the pieces and real down to earth. I mean, he's going to be a great guest that people love. I mean, it's like Malcolm McDowell. He's a big time guest you got there. I mean, he's done so much amazing work, and I'm a huge fan. And the fact that he was so cool and so nice, I think you're going to really enjoy him as a guest there.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I was gonna say I've heard nothing but good things, so I'm definitely looking forward to having him. So, but yeah, we got a lot. We got some other cool guests this year. We got we're kind of dipping into some of the more cult status films. Like got Tracy Lords coming in, which again, not of this earth. The big
You had
80s.
Jenna Jameson last year, so you're going Tracy Lords this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess we're gonna do one a year now. Yeah,
it seems that way. But Tracy. I mean, she was really nice. I got an autograph from somebody who really was dying to get it, and he couldn't make it to the event, and she was sweet and even did a whole video for him since he couldn't make it. My good friend Justin.
Yeah. Yeah, she seems like she's got a pretty good heart, so that's cool. So they've got her. We got Tyler and Kyle Labine, the brothers. They're coming in. Well, of course, Tyler, everybody knows him from Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I mean, which was
that's an awesome movie. You got Alex Vincent, right?
Vincent and Christina Leese, from Chucky, from the Chucky franchise.
And you got, believe it or not, I'm walking. You got William Cat coming, the greatest American hero. He was in House, of course, and Carrie. But I love the greatest American hero. Great.
He got a lot of public. I tell you, the one that really exploded was Nancy Loomis from the original Halloween. I know a lot of people are looking forward to meeting her because I guess like a lot of people need her on posters and whatnot. So for the Halloween posters and whatnot. So
really nice too. I met her as well last year, and I got her on there, so that was really cool.
Yeah, she
got a good guest list this year. I'm looking.
Yeah. So definitely a lot more. Definitely more. Definitely a little more cult stats, but still, I mean, I think it's gonna be. And we're not done announcing either. We got 5 or 6 more. We still got to do yet.
I see that. I'll put it up right here so we can, if you want to talk about it a little bit. I'll throw it.
Yeah, well, I can't announce. I was gonna say I can't announce anybody that's
no. I don't expect you to announce anybody, but we got a lot of question marks.
We got marks here. So again, we got more stuff coming up. So everybody keep on the website, keep on the social media. We'll be doing a lot more here in the next few weeks. And we got a lot of other things. Like I said, I mean, the website's got all of our extracurricular activities. We always have a lot of that, like after parties, and you get the VIP passes come with a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, anything you guys are looking for is, I was gonna say we try to be a convention for the fans. So that's what we're doing.
What was really cool last year I liked a lot was Lachlan Monroe. He was a really cool
guy. He was a good guy. Yeah, he was really a lot of fun. Yeah, he seemed like, I was gonna say he was definitely a lot of fun. Yeah, he sat next to B. I remember that area. And Tom, he was between B and Tom. I remember.
Yeah. You had a nice like I said, I mean, you don't overdo it with your guests, but you bring in really great quality guests.
Yeah, we don't want to be that con that books 30 guests. We just don't. That's just not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to, we want to have, we want to keep it around 15 to 16 guests. We want to have and bring in a decent array of people, not just one type of guest. We don't just want to do 80s horror. We just don't want to do 90s horror. We don't want to just bring in Final Girls or the Killers, or we want to try to have a variety of everybody a little bit. We don't want to try.
We were talking about earlier, the Slasher 15 guys, Dave Kerr made it, and Mike McGlynn had to get in an accident, but it was great meeting Dave, and you're real supportive of the indie community as well as you being involved in it. And seeing a lot of those creators there was really cool for me.
Yeah, this year we're actually making an actual area for our indie creators. It's actually going to be like, where they can where people can go see them and they can network, and it's going to be a special like area in the con where you're actually going to have like filmmakers and artists and authors and things like that. We want to make sure we bring those folks because we don't want to leave anybody out. We want to make sure everybody that wants to come can come.
Oh, you checked out my booth in Evansville, Indiana? Yeah, we had such a good time. We were just talking about that, and that was a pretty fun booth. And I put it together real quick. I'm getting better at setting up these booths real quick. And with the skateboard decks by Michael Toth, perfect. But also, if you're still out there, Nicole, that would be a great one for you to promote some of those things too. So maybe look into that, Nicole. I know
I'm sorry, John. Didn't mean to cut you off there, but we have a film room that we have a film festival that we do every year. For indie films. We're actually they're getting ready. They're actually judging those right now. I unfortunately can't be on the board anymore because I have the films I've actually submitted.
A little bias,
Yeah, don't really need that conflict of interest. I don't really have that conflict of interest. But on years that I don't have films in there, I am one of the judges and whatnot. We've seen a lot of great films have come through Fear Fest, and we're always really grateful that the indie creators what you always want to show them here.
Yeah, you guys brought in a lot of really cool, unique guests. As somebody who checks out, not podcasters and some really, really cool, down to earth people. The vendors, a few vendors I know pretty well that were there, and always catching up with them is fun. I mean, you like we talked, the celebrities are great, but with the indie support that you bring and involved in, that goes a long way for these filmmakers. And indie is, like we talked about, indie is horror. It is horror.
Indie is the heart of horror. It's the heart.
Yeah.
It's the engine that drives it. Because that's you look at movies like Terrifier. How a few years ago it was or a few years ago that's another franchise that came. These franchises, some of them they came from nothing. Blair Witch Project, another great another great
And those guys were nice too. Yeah, I bet.
Thank you so much for
I was going to say her and Dave are also involved in the indie community. So,
fantastic.
They did. They were involved in Redhead. I don't know if you got a chance.
I know Redhead. Matter of fact, I want to say I talked to them last year. I think it was on
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. I think I talked to them during. I think they were in the dinner part of the show. We were doing the VIP dinner or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they spent a lot of time with me out there
because I remember them talking about Redhead. I remember them talking about the movie Redhead. Because I know Jonna and her hubby Sam or whatever. They're really nice people. Really, really nice people.
It's such a great community, the indie community too. A lot of you guys that the support you guys show each other. I love that in the indie community. I know them, and it helps these actors get a chance to go. Angel Bradford was there last year. I got to meet her in person.
She's on our staff every year.
She's awesome. It was cool to meet her. And she's like, I forget, who did she help out? She was supposed to be helping out Bill Moseley, right? And then
and then that fell through. So we put her with somebody else for a while, but then that person, I was gonna say, because I know her boyfriend was with Jenna Jameson. I think I want to say her boyfriend PJ. He was with Jenna.
He was with Jenna that week. I had a great time meeting them.
She was with somebody for a while, but then I think they got their guarantee. So so she was kind of, she was kind of our floater. Like if somebody needed a break, she would fill in or whatever kind of thing. We kind of use her for that. I know she'll definitely be there again this year too. She never misses a Fear Fest.
Yeah, she was excited to be there. I'm like, you're one of these stars too, because like for me, I see her in all these films. She's worked with a lot of my friends, Ann Myrna over at AcroStar.
Her and like I don't know. These girls like her and Mel Heflin and people like that. I don't know. They might never be home. Because they are always on the go. It seems like. Even more so than I am. I'm like, man, y'all must never sleep or never stay home. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you some of the energy I've seen in the indie community. Nicole Butler Vegas is another one who's like that. And I'd mention Ann Myrna. These ladies are out there killing it, and they work so hard. And there's sometimes actors and actresses out there that it's like, wow, these guys are going to hit it at some point. They're going to be sitting in their own booths, just busy with those lines. Because
one day, right now they're paying for. They might have to pay for a table now, but one day we might be paying them to come to Fear Fest. Who knows? You never know. It could happen. It could happen to anybody.
I see it with a lot of these people that I'm honored to know, and whatever I can on my end to support and watch them, blow up and do whatever they can do because they got it. These people that I've seen and met, like Angel and Nicole and Ann, these guys are doing something really special, and they're such hustlers. Like they move and they're out there and they'll do anything to support anybody, and I love that about them.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, hey, it's a hard. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's like anything. I mean, what do they say? Yeah, it's a fun job, but it's still a job. You got to, I mean, you got to hustle. You got to work for it. I mean, nobody. I mean, it doesn't get given to anybody. I mean, it's hard. I mean, in the horror world, especially, I mean, nobody's getting. I mean, you can't just be a nepo baby and just figure this shit out. I mean, it's not. It's not the same as doing movies in Hollywood or whatever.
Well, how it goes too. I mean, if once you sit down, you don't want to stand up. I think that's why, when we run on that adrenaline, especially those ladies, if you stop, it's going to be hard to get going, and you just want to ride that adrenaline.
Yeah, it's like because you fear if you stop, they'll forget because I mean it's so easy to forget. You know what I mean? It's funny. Mark and I, the guy that made Blood and Breakfast, the guy I partner up with a lot, for these films. He and I were talking about that. It's like it used to be, the big event was screening the movie, was your big premiere or everything. And it still is. Don't get me wrong, it still is or whatever. But, nowadays people spend more time talking about making the movie, through social media and whatnot. It's funny how now it's all about making the movie. And then once it premieres, a lot of times it's just, okay, it's done. It's done now. That one or whatever,
I think the fact with, indie movies, fans can really feel like they're a part of, and if something succeeds and they feel like they're part of the team, even if they're contributing and donating and
the Indiegogo thing or whatever. Yeah, I mean, people who have no experience in the movie industry at all, for $300 you can be a producer. And you say, "Hey, I'm a producer." It's like it gives you that. It does give you that. That whole. It makes you feel very close. Exactly. It gives you that. Intimacy. I guess I don't know if that's the right word, but what I'm trying to say. The closeness to the project or whatever. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a big deal for a lot of these people and a lot of these fans, and I love to see it, man. I mean, like my favorite part about conventions is seeing those smiles and stuff, and seeing people enjoy themselves. Like when I put on a Doomsday script table, it might be a lot of work, but when people come by and they're like, "Oh, I love this, and this is so cool," and all these talented people that do the work and put it on the table, like as you see, Michael Toth, I'll be doing Lonnie McCullum, so I got to pull all this down and pull up all Lonnie McCullum stuff, who kills it as well with his wife, Jessica McCullum. And we're actually working on some really cool things they put on the table and that they'll have in their shop that I think people are going to be blown away by. So
that's really awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I just love seeing these. And like, I'll use an example, like my buddy Jesse Aarons, who does a lot of mask making, and I've been watching. I mean, I knew him when he first started, and I'm like, man, this dude's got talent. And then I see what he's doing now. It's like,
the practice. What's that old place saying? Practice makes perfect. Usually,
yeah. Yeah. Just following their journey is a lot of fun. Watching Michael Toth, who does all these decks. I mean, he did a lot of comic covers and doing a lot of this, and now with the conventions and all the stuff he's doing, he's been doing work for celebrities and this and that. It opens up his whole creativity. I don't know. The stuff he comes up with and does just blows my mind, man.
Yeah, that's I always watch people draw. So I was like, man, I can't draw. I'm not an artist in that sense. I mean, I can't draw. I mean, I was never good at drawing. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. I mean,
sign my name neatly.
I am that.
I write like a 2-year-old drawing.
I write like a doctor, but don't get paid like one. Don't get paid like one. But yeah, no, I can't draw a straight line with a freaking ruler. And it's just like, I mean, I see these guys like, man, I wish I could do that.
It looks so easy.
I know. Yeah, I wish I could just sit down with a sandwich or whatever, just and make it look like Jack Kirby just fucking drew it or some shit.
Well, with like Mike, I'm sending this out to the director. I'll give him a little shout out, Fritz Kirsch. I'm sending this out to him, and it'll be, let's say he's starting this thing, and it's like in 2-3 hours, 4 hours, it's almost done. It's like, how the hell did you how did you do that?
Yeah, like I remember watching when I was running a Comic-Con up here in Hagerstown. Ron Wilson, a famed Marvel artist who did The Thing and a lot of that kind of stuff. Like watching him just doing this with these. I'm just sitting there like this. I'm just like,
That's not that hard. I mean, they make it look so easy.
He's looking at me while he's freaking doing it. I'm like, you fucking show off. You show off. I was like,
artists always blow my mind. I mean, they really.
Yeah, man, you put a gun to my head, I couldn't do that. It's like you put a gun to my head, I couldn't do that. It's like,
I can't even draw a good hangman without screwing it up.
Like, yeah, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler, man. It's like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, is that what the hell did you just do? This is hangman, dude. You can't even make a person. You can't draw a circle. No, I cannot.
No, I can't. No, not really.
Are you doing pyramid head? No. It's a hangman, I swear.
Yeah, it's like, what is this? It's like, yeah. Well, again, that's why everybody has their own talents. Like, that's why we all, I mean, that's why creative people like us, meet creative people, and we're able to help each other out. And that's the main thing right there, because we can all help each other, lift each other up.
Well, I think the only skill I have is, I believe in these guys, and I for some reason I see the talent, and I've watched these guys just blowing up. And for me, it's an honor that it's just like with the independent movies, watching Mike doing what he's doing and us doing what we do together in the Krypt, and him being such an important part. It's awesome watching his journey, man.
For sure.
It's not easy to be an artist. I was talking to Scott Straka as well. It's not easy being an artist, and
not at all.
It's work, and you. When these guys are finding success like Michael and Scott Straka, who's doing some amazing thing, it's really cool to watch. I mean, Scott's been doing it for a while, and he's been crushing it. Mike's just killing it out there, and his creativity it's limitless. I mean, this whole room right now is Michael Toth. The whole thing, light up box, everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's about how much work, how much you want to put into it. You get in what you put in, you get out what you put in. That's what you get out of it what you put into it. That's just how it is. I mean,
yeah. The one thing is I've been lucky, and they're all great people. They're all great people. Like Mike's my best friend right there. There he is. Yeah, I got you. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. You're doing some amazing things. And I thank you. She always says I'm the CEO, but I'm just a guy who's just having the time of his life. I mean, I'm having the time of my life.
You got to have fun with it, because at the end of the day, especially when you have when you're a promoter or a producer, and again, I'm not trying to complain or anything, but I am kind of, when you're that's the thankless shit there. I mean, that's where you're. I mean, it's like being a quarterback. You either get all the credit or all the blame.
Did you do this? No. I wish.
Yeah. Or
be like, did you draw it? No.
Yeah, you're either their best friend or their worst enemy.
Yeah, these guys, but it's just like the community's been so strong in the conventions that they've grown leaps and bounds as well. I mean, it's not just horror in October anymore. It's horror all year round. These conventions are going,
for sure.
Which is so much fun. I mean, I've been to places I never dreamed of going. I mean, I really never planned on even doing Doomsday's Krypt. It just kind of happened. It was never in the plans.
That's usually how it is, though, isn't it? It's usually. I mean, just like me, I was a music promoter for years. I didn't think I'd go into this. I never thought I'd make movies. I never thought I'd do stuff like this. But then one day at Food Line, I meet Conrad Brooks, and boom, I'm in a movie all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's just like with Beatrice, DK and the Bees, Horror Buzz. I mean, how lucky am I that I did even though we're bringing one back. We talked. She's so busy. She's been busy acting and stuff, and we've talked about catching up with all the fans. But she's like one of my best friends, and I remember watching that movie in the theater and being a fan of her being the favorite part of that movie, and now she's like my best friend and one of the greatest people that I know.
I mean, she is arguably the best part of that movie for sure. I mean, yeah, and I mean, like I said, I mean, I never thought I'd do movies with Felissa Rose or Dave Sheridan or Nancy Ann Ray. I mean, I'm sitting there watching Scream in the theater at 13 years old. I didn't know I'd know these people. I didn't know I'd know this person personally. I'd ever meet them. I mean, you don't think that. I mean, you're just, I mean, you're just worried about that girl you like, thinking you're weird or whatever. At 13. I mean,
Yeah. It's crazy, but it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And I love how
I get the new Nirvana CD at the mall.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I love the accessibility that some of these people give, and and the love they give back to the fans. Certain ones of these celebrities, like you mentioned, Felissa Rose, Dave Sheridan, Beatrice. I've met so many great ones that it's like, wow, I've met more great people. It's hard to even pick out a bad guest that I've met. I know I haven't dealt with it on a level maybe that you have, where it's like,
right. Now, no, I could name a few, but I'm not going to. Obviously, I mean, I can name a few, but I mean, but there were a little.
Minds want to know.
Little,
just kidding.
Oh no, Danielle Harris tried to get it out of me the one year. We're sitting in the green room, right? We're sitting there eating lunch or whatever, and she just starts grilling me about. So, who was your worst? Come on, Matt, give me the dirt. Who was your worst?
And how do you say no to Danielle Harris too? She's her and
he was funny.
So like Scout is always like she was at the first.
Scout's awesome. Her old man Tom's really cool too. I mean, they're both really good people.
And her and Daniel are probably the sweetest. I mean, Scout was just gone like above and beyond. Like I said, she was at the first convention that I was at Kansas City Krypticon, which I'll be at again this year, with Tyler Main, and it was so.
Really good. I've heard very good things about that show.
Yeah, and I even stopped her. I was at Krypticon, Minnesota a couple of years later, and they were getting ready to get in the limo. And I understood why Danielle, it's like, I'm tired of her. Scout stopped what she was doing. I gave her some of the art pieces that Mike had done in these VHS boxes. And they wound up putting one of the art pieces that Mike did with the lipstick and all the stuff and the little things. That was by Michael Toth. They hung in their stream for a long time. I don't know if it's still there on.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember Scout was really excited at Fear Fest because we were one of the first shows that had Clint Howard. A few years back when Clint Howard. Clint's amazing. He's such a great guy. He's been
a lot of cons I've been at, and I haven't had a chance to meet him. He will be at Kansas City this year, so I'm going to.
I was say, well, make sure you meet him. He and his wife, such good people. They're so great. I mean, but yeah, Scout was really honored to meet him. I remember, and it was really cool to see them meet each other and whatnot. It was really nice, really a nice moment.
We're definitely doing an Ice Cream Man deck. We already discussed that because I got to meet him this year. I was gonna say, I remember my favorite role of his was always I'm a big Ramones fan, so I loved Rock and Roll High School and Eagle Bauer. I loved his character in that. When he did the office in the bathroom. He would be so great.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of me a little. Kind of reminded me of me a little bit. Hustling people. Hey, my man, what can I do for you? Hey, my man.
I can definitely see it. Your personality is inspired by it, right?
Yeah, my man. What can I do for you?
Ice Cream, man. I love that one. I got to rewatch it. It's been a little while, man, since I've seen that one. But such a great, under the radar movie that's I think is gotten so much more love as the years have gone on. I think it's probably one of the, it's become such a cult legend movie, Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, it really has. It's kind of on the same level as like Frank and Hooker and like a lot of those, like the Frank Henenlotter flicks and whatnot. And I mean, I love those. I mean, Henenlotter was such a visionary. So I loved him a lot. He was such a nice guy when I met him too. Fantastic.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like with Clint Howard, I think a lot of the reason that movie has that cult following is people got to know and meet like a guy like Clint Howard. And it's like, I got to watch this movie. This guy's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of the horror, especially with all the films that are out there. When you got somebody who's the star of the film that's also so embracing, it's like with Scout. I mean, how can you not like Scout or Danielle and not watch?
Oh, yeah, they're both such wonderful human beings. And Felissa too. I mean, I guarantee you the whole reason Sleepaway Camp is even still relevant today is because of Felissa. I mean, there's no
absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's still in my top 5 horror movies because as a kid,
I mean, I was getting it's a great movie, great movie. It's a great movie. I'm not saying it's not a good movie. I'm just saying, but the relevance is what I'm saying.
She keeps the heartbeat going on. I mean, everybody loves Felissa. I mean, she's been so great to fans. She's met my guys that I've told you about, and she's done so many sweet things. Dave Sheridan's another one. I mean, they competed at the table to get one of my guys' attention. He's just one of those
guys. They do that a lot. I remember they did that at Fear Fest too, the one year. And because I remember like my big line with Play Summer Camp with Sheridan was, I'm going to get my lawyer Finkelstein or whatever. And every time he looked at me, I'm like, don't make me get Finkelstein. I'll do it.
Finkelstein, shit, kid. But Yeah, man. It's I'm so excited for what you're doing, man. I'm definitely going to be looking into getting at least flying out. If I can find the right flight, I want to head out to the East Coast and say hi. I mean, I'd love to see you. Hopefully, Slash 15 and some of these other indie filmmakers that I'm big fans of can be there for the indie part. And you got a great guest list.
You'll have, and like I told you, without a table, you'll have more time to hang out with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
I
as a
think I might get a little bit lost because I'll feel,
but you're trying to do so much at once. Yeah, it's going to be, you just have to remember to balance your time a little bit.
But yeah, man, it's been great catching up with you, man. I'm really excited.
Likewise, John, is always a good time, man. Like I said, we'll hopefully we'll get to see each other in May, and hopefully we'll talk real soon.
Sounds great, man. And thank you so much for coming on. And I know how busy you are, so I'm sorry I made you sit on the couch. I know you got to run around and
oh, it's all good. Sometimes it's nice to just sit on the sometimes it's nice to sit on the couch a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I'm really, really happy. It's been an honor getting to know you, and it was a real honor having a table at your event and being able to show the people there the Doomsday's Krypt talent. And
right. You guys were definitely one of the more talked about vendors for sure. I mean, you guys, people definitely seem to dig it. So that was cool.
I appreciate it. We, like I said, it's all these talented guys, and it's a huge honor for me to be able to showcase them and let people see the world, see what they do on a different scale. So, and you providing that kind of platform, all you promoters, and what you're doing with the indie community is incredibly special, man. And,
we appreciate it. I mean, that's why we do it, man. Because we didn't have fans, we wouldn't be here. So thank you for this great podcast. And don't sell yourself short, man. You guys do a lot for us too, and we're definitely grateful for it. Thank you.
The family, the horror family, man. You can't beat it.
I mean that, man, from my heart. So, all right, man. You guys, we'll talk soon.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and check out Carolina Fear Fest. If you're on the East Coast, take that drive, get down there. Hang out, say hi to Matt, and meet all these awesome guests, vendors, and indie filmmakers. And tomorrow night, Michael Bailey Smith, we're going to be talking something other than movies. Again, in scene, we're bringing him and his amazing wife, Paige, on, and we're going to hang out and talk. And one of the best
tomorrow you get a real actor on there, huh? I'm just kidding.
He's such a great, he's an actor, but he's an amazing guy. Amazing.
I like him a lot. I was gonna say, well, real quick here before we go hop over. I was a huge fan. I had a bootleg copy back in the day of the Fantastic Four movie Roger Corman made. I love that movie. It's so great. And he was the Thing or whatever. And he did that so well. I thought he was 10 times.
He wasn't the Thing. He was too big to get in the suit. He was Ben Grimm in it. And the documentary. There's a documentary.
The Doomed or whatever. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, you're right. I spaced on. You're right about that. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Did you see it?
Doomed. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Great documentary. So check that out. Support our buddy.
I don't know why they didn't release it. It was a good movie.
It was the best story. A Fantastic Four story.
It's the most authentic Fantastic Four we've gotten so far. I'll just put it.
And the low budget, but all those guys who worked on the film definitely, gave it their 100%. And
absolutely,
they deserve the recognition. Hopefully someday it'll get a re-release and get all those fantastic, the actors and everybody involved and get them at a Comic-Con or something like that. I think the fans would love it.
I think so too. All right, man. Well, you take care, and hopefully, I was going to say, hopefully, we'll talk soon. And thank you to everybody for tuning in. And I mean, it was great. It's always great to be on here.
All right, I will see you soon, and we'll talk soon.
Take care, bud.
Peace out.